Now at 6 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, we have updates on the fatal shooting on Crestwood last night. 3 suspects arrested and a possible 4th on the run.
El Campo police still searching for 2 other possible suspects in the Tabernacle theft investigation.
And the new DACA ruling leaves thousands of recipients in legal limbo. We have the details.
Well, the first round of thunderstorms happened this afternoon. It was all south of us down toward Bloomington and Port Lavaca, where they got some significant rain. Not so much in the city, but it's only the first round. We've got more coming in Friday, Saturday, and a little bit on Sunday. We'll have all the details coming up in a moment.
The athlete of the week had a big game against a big opponent. We hear from him in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia. An update to last night's breaking news. Victoria police responded to the 2000 block of East Crestwood Drive in reference to a disturbance. When they arrived, they found a man lying on the sidewalk with a gunshot wound. He was given aid by officers before being taken to a hospital where he later died from his injuries. He was identified as 57-year-old Hector Gonzalez. 3 suspects were taken into custody and a 4th one, possibly related to the shooting, is on the run. Authorities determined a preliminary investigation that the suspects involved were in a verbal altercation with Gonzalez before the victim was shot. Now here's more on the 4th suspect. He was last seen wearing a black hat and gray shirt with white text. He was also wearing black and white and red shorts with red shoes. Anyone with information related to this investigation should contact Victoria Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200.
Related to the shooting, a 17-year-old man charged with murder. Logan Robles was charged with murder and engaging in organized criminal activity. A $150,000 bond set on the engaging in organized criminal activity charge, but there's no bond on the murder charge. He's currently in the Victoria County Jail.
VPD authorities have also arrested 2 juvenile male suspects connected to yesterday's fatal shooting. A 15-year-old male was charged with murder, engaging in organized criminal activity, and possession of a controlled substance. A 16-year-old male suspect was charged with murder and engaging in organized criminal activity as well.
Part of the tabernacle stolen from St. Robert's Catholic Church in El Campo was returned 2 weeks ago. 29-year-old Jose Manuel Jaramillo of El Campo faces theft of property and criminal mischief and damage to a place of worship charges. El Campo police told the Wharton Journal-Spectator they have 2 other persons identified as being involved in this case, but did not say whether the other missing parts of the tabernacle could be found intact.
Be Well Victoria's Southside Community Coalition will host their meeting tonight at the Meals on Wheels 603 East Murray Street.
Another meeting at Christ's Kitchen going on right now, 611 East Warren Avenue. It covered the Queen City Transit. 25 News Now reporter Adam Seibel will have more on these meetings later tonight on 25 News Now at 10. Refugio County Sheriff's deputies and volunteer firefighters dealt with a large brush fire Thursday on Kelly Road, just west of the Refugio County Airport. After the fire was put out, it was restarted due to a burning branch falling across the containment line. Firefighters put the blaze under control once again.
The Myrtle fire in Aransas Pass now 100% contained, and residents are allowed to return home. Authorities tell KIII evacuation orders ended Wednesday night. The fire burned mostly brush and about 80 acres were consumed in this fire, but they don't know of any structures burned or destroyed in this fire. And now let's take a look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis.
Well, thank you very much. The good news is now the rain's coming, and hopefully we'll cut down on all those wildfires out there. Yep, the first big storms rolled through the area. Jackson County got some pretty good rain. So did Refugio, and Calhoun County got a lot. All that stuff seems to be decreasing at this hour, so it's going to be settling down. That's the good news, but there's more to come. In fact, Friday night looks pretty wet, and so does Saturday as well. We'll have more on that coming up in just a moment. Back to you.
Mac, thank you. Karnes County had its 4th earthquake this week, and this one was felt in neighboring Wilson County. KSAT reports the United States Geological Survey confirmed a 4.0 magnitude quake struck at 1:50 p.m. Thursday, about 11 miles northeast of Falls City. It was the strongest of 4 earthquakes to rattle that area this week. Karnes County was hit by 3 earthquakes Monday.
Hunter Biden indicted on 3 federal gun charges today. A federal indictment says Biden lied about his drug use when he bought a firearm in 2018 while struggling with an addiction to crack cocaine. Hunter was also investigated for his business dealings. If convicted, he could face 25 years in prison and a $7,500,000 fine. Today's indictment comes as congressional Republicans pursue an impeachment inquiry into President Biden due to Hunter Biden's business dealings. And so here's your viewer poll this evening. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote. The question is, do you believe the charges against Hunter Biden will impact the presidential election? Yes, no, or you're not sure. According to these results, 21% say yes, 79% say no, and 0% are not sure. Thank you for voting. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 10.
Laura Olson, identified as the woman who reportedly had an affair with Ken Paxton, not allowed to testify in Paxton's impeachment trial. The Dallas Morning News reports both sides agreed to allow her to avoid testifying, in part to protect the Attorney General's wife, Angela Paxton, a state senator who is present in the chamber for the proceedings. Olson was seen leaving the building shortly after it was announced she would not testify.
A federal judge in Texas Wednesday ruled again that the federal government's DACA program is illegal. The program, which began in 2012 under the Obama administration, currently covers around 600,000 young adults who were illegally brought to the U.S. as children. Under the program, the recipients have been protected from deportation and granted work authorization for the past 11 years. U.S. District Court Judge Andrew Hannon, who issued this ruling, once again leaves DACA in legal limbo, meaning current recipients can seek to renew their protections, but new applicants are barred from applying.
4 officers hurt after they were struck by an oncoming vehicle in northwest Dallas Thursday morning. Authorities tell KXAS while the officers were working a domestic violence call, a vehicle hit a marked squad car with 1 officer inside, and the patrol vehicle then struck 3 officers. The 4 officers taken to the hospital in stable condition. Authorities say the driver fled the scene after the crash, but officers were able to capture him. The United Auto Workers may strike at certain plants across the country tonight if it cannot reach a new deal with General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis, the parent company of Chrysler. Raises, shorter work weeks, and more retirement benefits among the demands. If an agreement not made by midnight tonight, more than 5,000 workers at Arlington's GM plant could walk. An assistant professor of economics at UT Arlington says a strike would be a challenge for everyone. Speaking of challenges, a Houston area Girl Scout group may need to add a new badge to their sashes. This badge would be the ability to escape an alligator.
This scary incident happened as the Houston area troop went camping to Huntsville State Park last weekend.
In the water? What the f?
The emergency at the Huntsville State Park swimming area causing panic and chaos. Just minutes after Girl Scout Troop 114204 jumped in.
I was thinking, this is the day I die.
The alligator, estimated to be 14 feet long.
Look how big it is.
Swimming right toward the troops as if they had a table full of delicious cookies for sale.
It was moving like faster than us, or about same.
The gator got closer as cell phone video shows Aaron White jumping off the dock.
I thought they were leaving me to go, so I jumped off and followed.
Chasing after her friends, she didn't even see the gator until troop leader Nicole Glenn helped her to safety.
There was no doubt in my mind that that alligator was not going to try and eat somebody.
Commotion filled the calm swimming zone. Glenn got between her troop and the gator, her top priority to keep everyone safe.
I always say that I love them to death. I always say I would do anything for them. Now I definitely know I would do anything for them.
Everyone calmed down after a couple hours.
Some of us were freaking out a little bit because we just realized that an alligator was about to attack us.
The Brave Scouts, less known than Thin Mints but gaining attention online, have mixed feelings on swimming in the lake again.
No. Yes.
I think I would.
After the life or death experience with the gator, they've named Karen, teaching them a simple yet important life lesson early.
I was close enough to get hurt, and I didn't even know it was there, so I should probably focus on my surroundings more.
Walk for a Cause this weekend. Affectionate Arms Adult Daycare wants you to help them reach their $10,000 goal at their Walkathon fundraiser. Here's how it works. Participants will register to walk a predetermined distance, and they will secure donations from family and friends. The goal is to improve both mental and physical health of the elderly and disabled adults. It all kicks off this Saturday at Ted B. Reed Park, 2101 Salem Road, from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 6. Disgraced InfoWars host Alex Jones owes the Sandy Hook families billions in liability, but they still have not seen a dime.
Also ahead in San Antonio, a little horse is making big moves. We have this story straight ahead. Right-wing conspiracy theorist Alex Jones's personal spending increased since he was ordered to pay $1.5 billion in liabilities to the Sandy Hook families, none of whom have seen a penny from the disgraced InfoWars host. Following the 2012 mass shooting in Sandy Hook that left 26 people dead, Jones repeatedly stated the incident was staged. Jones filed for bankruptcy in December of 2022. In filing for bankruptcy, the money Jones owns is put on hold. Jones has since acknowledged that the events did take place.
A 3-foot-tall horse is helping provide therapy at an equestrian nonprofit in the San Antonio area.
Good. Whoopsie. That's okay.
You may not realize it, but you're watching a young lady make progress one step at a time with a little help from a miniature horse.
Yeah, Gus is a friendly little guy. He has never met a stranger, and that's one amazing thing about him that we love, is really lights up everybody's world when they meet him.
Gus is one of the newest team members at Hope Reigns of Texas, providing hippotherapy, meaning physical, occupational, or speech therapy with the help of a horse. He joined the nonprofit in May of 2022, and he's already becoming a fan favorite.
Yes, like Gus! It's like Gus!
Gus and the other horses at Hope Reigns of Texas work with children and adults who have special needs, as well as wounded warriors.
And they're also having to find their balance. So their sensory, their neuromotor, their cognitive systems all having to work together while they're on top of this horse.
Gus is too small to ride, but he offers therapy in other ways.
So for us, I mean, you know, we can pinch that nice and easy, slip it on right there, and easy peasy. Braiding hair, clipping on these little bows, all that's working on their fine motor.
And his stature is a strength when easing people into the world of horses.
Very unique because his size is lovable. It's just, he makes you know it's okay to be little bitty.
With all the love Gus gets now, it's hard to imagine that at one point, nobody wanted him. Until Kyle Hackley rescued him from a Florida ranch and brought him to stay at Hope Reigns in Bulverde.
I looked in those big brown eyes and I knew right then he was extraordinarily special.
Now he provides care, calm, and companionship for those facing challenges.
I think he likes people more than other horses sometimes. Yeah, I'm talking about you.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
The acting head of the Federal Aviation Administration said the agency could give the SpaceX Starship launch license as early as next month. CEO Elon Musk confirmed that SpaceX has put in all the fixes demanded by the FAA for Starship ahead of its second flight test at Boca Chica near Brownsville. SpaceX would still need a separate environmental approval from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service before a launch.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Did you feel it? Did you get it? Did you get the rain? We got some nice rain around here today, and it's just the beginning. Right now, we're rain cooled. As a result, we're down to 86 degrees. We did manage to get up to about 97 right at about 2 o'clock, but then the clouds rolled in and the shower activity rolled around. Now, most of it was down in Calhoun County, but we're going to get some here in the Crossroads on Friday and Saturday. So we'll be talking about that and take a look at the Atlantic also coming up in just a moment. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, we got some good rain down south of the city generally. I mean, we got some in Victoria, but the real heavy stuff was down there toward Port Lavaca, Bloomington, and headed down toward Refugio. Also, we got some southwest toward Goliad. So we did get probably, quarter to maybe half an inch in some spots. For a while we were under a severe thunderstorm warning, but that has since been lowered. Now we're looking for the next couple of days where significant rainfall is going to be rolling around the area. Here's another view, kind of a 3D view. You can see how the storms do build up, and when they build up that tall, they can have hail. And of course, as they collapse, they get 30, 40 mile an hour winds. So you'll get possibility of some hail around here, although it's generally going to be fairly small, not huge. And the winds, well, they're associated with each individual thunderstorm. But the thing is, we've got more coming. And out here in West Texas, it looks kind of quiet, but this is actually a circulation that's spinning around in the upper atmosphere that's going to be moving toward the very moist field. Not only do we have the moisture and the heating and the frontal system, well, let's just say we got all the ingredients necessary for a good round of storms. Now, I'm saying good round of storms. Obviously, we don't need the flooding or the hail, but we certainly do need the rain. You know that. Now, this frontal system is going to help trigger this activity over the next couple of days, and so let's get ready for it. Now, Friday night's football, you got to talk about it, and then Saturday looks a little wet as well. But get a load of these temperatures. 97 for us. let's see, 89 in San Angelo, but only 74 as a high temperature in Amarillo. A week ago there were 110, so I'm sure they're enjoying that. And tomorrow we're looking at a 93 for us with the additional cloud cover, the additional rain, so not as warm. And temperatures up north will be in the 80s, so fall is definitely on its way to our area. It's just got a couple hundred miles to go before it gets to us, and then we'll be able to also bask in the glow of the 100-degree temperatures that we finally get. I use Future Tracker to go as far out as we can, and the thing is, I'm glad that it's been consistent through Tuesday of next week. You can see the crossroads here. We're likely to see 1 to 2 inch total of rainfall, which is good. All right. Some areas will have a little bit more, up to actually less in Houston, but more out of far west, southwest Texas. So this has been consistent. So we're pretty confident that we'll, 50, half an inch one day, half an inch the other. And so it'll accumulate up to a good solid 1 to 2 inches. And that's going to be very, very helpful. In addition to the front, we have this area of low pressure spinning toward us. And that is going to be the reason that on Friday night, it could get fairly heavy. Now, I want you to go to the games, but I want you to be ready for it. Have an umbrella or some rain gear just in case you get caught in one of those. And here's the best news. Most of the thunder showers will pop in the day and then decrease once the sun goes down. So here's Lee. Lee's finally beginning to move. Lee is down to Category 1 and will continue as a 1, rolling in somewhere over Nova Scotia. Looks like much of New England will be spared from that system. We also have Margot over here, right about there. And then we have another system developing. None of these are heading in our direction. Good news. For tomorrow in Port Lavaca, getting up to 91 with partly cloudy skies and more showers. And the same thing in Cuero. Partly cloudy and more showers, especially in the afternoon hours. The biggest stuff, and we've got alert days out for Friday and Saturday as the little front sort of wobbles through the area. Fewer showers on Sunday and then decreasing back to just partly cloudy and warm for Monday of next week. That is your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that and put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here is Karina.
Thank you, Mac. And now here's Sports Director Gina Perez.
Thanks, Karina. The Refugio Bobcats are scrambling ahead of Friday night. See why after the break. At a crossroads, breaking news out of Bobcat country. Refugio's Week 4 opponent, the Bishop Badgers, are forfeiting Friday's game. Bobcat head coach Jason Herring confirmed the news, saying many of the athletes were not healthy enough to play. The Bobcats were given a 2-0 victory and will try to find an opponent for tomorrow to prepare for its first district game, which is next week against Bloomington. And speaking of Refugio, the game of the week has featured yet another athlete of the week. This time it's royalty out of Refugio. Big-time players show up in big-time games, and running back Jordan King showed up in the biggest moment of the season so far. The game plan heading into Friday night was to run the ball and take whatever the defense gives them. Well, King got a lot of the work on the ground, and the Bobcats needed every yard he could muster in the victory. The Bobcats trailed heading into halftime, but Refugio head coach Jason Herring preached they just needed to keep fighting and stay bonded to make it through, and they did.
My mindset in the game was just to go out and do what it takes to win the game and just keep fighting to the end. And with the coaches, it was just they just had us well prepared and just they knew what it takes to win the game. It was just we had to come through and just follow the game plan.
The Refugio Bobcats just edged out the Edna Cowboys in the second overtime, which ended in questionable fashion. But either way, King does not focus on the past.
We just don't listen to that kind of stuff. We just let them talk and just keep going about our business. I just thought we just get better and better every week, and we just come closer and just grow a stronger bond, and we just get better every week.
King prays before every game, thanking the Lord that he is able to play the game he loves and to keep him injury-free. Football is not Jordan's only sport that he excels in. He was also on the state championship track team, running the 100-meter dash and 4x100-meter relay as an alternate, also with throwing discus and shot put. The running back gets in the mindset before a game by listening to Rod Wave and Young Boy before games and does not shy away from the big moment.
It means a lot. It's just knowing that I have to come out and compete and just be the best I can be. It just puts more pressure on my shoulders, and they say pressure makes diamond. I think I'm a diamond. Yeah, but I just try to just my mindset just don't go down. Just keep going till I can't go no more.
Coming from a prestigious town like Refugio, the goal is always a state title. Individually, however, King wants to end the season with 2,000 yards rushing and 25 touchdowns. Currently, he sits just over 500 yards and 9 touchdowns. In the game of the week, Jordan King rushed for 235 yards and 3 touchdowns in the double overtime victory over Edna to become this week's Athlete of the Week. Well, that's your sports. Don and Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Gina. We're back in a moment. A New Jersey police officer was asked to take part in a community event. He showed off the skills he didn't know he had.
Finally tonight, a New Jersey police officer being praised for skills he did not know he had. Officer Xavier Robinson had been working security at a mall when one day during a community event, he was asked to jump rope while in his gear. The 23-year-old Robinson was not just jumping double Dutch, he was doing it wearing his 25-pound ballistic vest. He is now known at the police station as Double Dutch King. By the way, with the local law enforcement people, we will not double there to do double Dutch. We know that they're very busy.
Yeah.
Are you doubling down on the rain?
I will double down on the rain, yes. We are looking at another band of showers by tomorrow afternoon and then more on Saturday, folks. So check with us at 5 o'clock tomorrow to let you know what's happening for the football games.
Thank you, Mac, and thanks for watching.
We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.